Okay, so I'm just going to make a quick video talking about free-to-play gem making because someone asked for it. So if you want to do boss fights, it's kind of niche. I wouldn't really recommend it just because it's a completely different thing you're learning, and I think most people want to be good at main game. If you want to get good at boss fights, then you can, but as for trading, I'm not going to recommend you do it just because then you have to do bosses, you have to open a bunch of packs, then you have to go into Trade Hub and sell all of the bad items and then turn them into good items. And then your active way of farming gems is giving you more trash to sell. You don't really want a bunch of small items to sell. Just looking at my inventory, I don't keep, like, I was given some of these for free by our friends. Like, I had some more commons. But, like, these types of things I don't keep. The lowest things I actually want are godlies that people care for. The only reason I got this is for index. I don't remember even why I had this, I just do. And then I'm mostly stockpiling Wrathblades, and then I've got 2 Chaoses. I'm going to use the gems I have to get more. But you generally want to focus on getting mythics and the higher value godlies once you get deeper into trading. So I don't recommend you do bosses for money. If you want to do it for fun, you enjoy it. Let's say you find a full clan that loves doing it, yeah, go for it. But that's not my recommended method. And then free to play, you aren't going to have the Game Pass, so or you aren't going to have premium. So we're going to ignore auras entirely. Ranked is, you know who you are if you like ranked, so I'm just going to skip that. But the main thing is if you can get 20 kills every, or what was it? I believe it was 10 kills every 20 minutes. I think you get 50 gems per hit, 100 gems per kill, and then I think it's 50 per hit and 100 per kill unboosted. And then it's 100 per hit and 200 per kill boosted. And then when you win, it's 400 base and 800 boosted. So ideally, you would come in here and start buying these. So you just click buy and then use on double gems. Double luck is not worth it. Double XP isn't worth it as far as making gems. The only thing for double XP would be you make gems by leveling classes too. I don't remember exactly how much you make, but whenever you're going through this, I think someone said you made 400k gems from leveling a class from 0 to 100. But I don't remember if that was in pro server. So the fastest ways are basically get some class you want to level, pop your gem boost, and then try to clash one of your friends. If you don't have someone, a friend to clash, just ask in lobby if someone will clash you. But, which, it kind of depends. They won't always be willing to do it. But you want to clash so that you're both surviving. You don't want to be clashing. So, like, if this is another player, you don't want to be right here. You want to be clashing probably from right here and then slowly get farther away. There's something with XP where when you're clashing really fast, you want to be farther away. It'll have your XP, I believe. But I'll do a more dedicated guide as far as the exact rates. I plan on making a full gym guide after I've talked about more things and I've kind of got a video roughly covering everything. But pretty much you're going to pop double gems, use whatever champion you're good at. For me, I use Saito and Kameki mostly. I use Koju when I'm feeling a little evil, and that's about it. So I wouldn't recommend you go into Trade Hub too much as far as being newer. Because the problem is with 10 slots, you don't have much flexibility. Your whole wrap ideally needs to be split between probably 8 to 12 items. And you want to be finding things pretty low. I just don't think it's worth it. If you have maybe 5 to 10 mil value, like 5 to 10 mil pure gems, or invested in mythics and godlies that are actually sellable. A grades don't count, A pluses don't count, S grades don't count. But if you have about 5 mil, I'd say you can start considering buying into stuff. But you'd want to be buying stuff like Gemblade really cheap. So 750k, flip it for probably 1.4. That would be one of your ideal targets. Where's Olympus? Inferno, you're not going to find too cheap. If you found it like here, though, you'd love it. Anything about a mil and below, you'd love. You just want to find really good margins. Same for Nutcracker. If you found it for 500k, that's really good. I wouldn't buy it at 700k. You want to be finding probably 200 to 500k profit every time you flip for any of these. Same like Tri-Heat, you take at 850, 900k, maybe a mil and flip for 1.3, 1.2. But that's what you have to focus on if you're not going to get the extra boost slots, that Game Pass. You really want that Game Pass if you're going to get deep into trading, because you're very limited if you don't. Or you do the stockpile method, like, and focus more on investing. So you'd go in and grab a bunch of Wrath Blades and Rainbow Chaos, and then just hold them for whenever the next update comes out. They should be changing out packs then, because it's been plenty long enough. If they don't change out packs in that update, trading's already in a little bit of a rough spot, because these packs have been around for a long time. So it's getting a little stale. I'm not saying like it's in a bad state because of that. I'm just saying it's just kind of boring because people don't really want anything. But yeah, that's basically what I do if you're going to focus on free to play. If you can AFK overnight and you don't have the Game Pass, you can go in here, but don't pop the gem boost because you'll be at a loss. If you have premium, I would still probably not pop the gem boost. I don't remember. I covered it in my AFK Aura video, but I'd probably just save it and just pop your gem boost when you actually log on to play. If you aren't experienced enough at the game to where you're hitting the kill amount I said, you need to be making at least 1,500 gems every 20 minutes for it to be worth it. Because when they double the... Actually, no, sorry. You need to be making 2k. My bad. But you need to be making 2,000 gems every 20 minutes. Otherwise, it's not worth you popping the boost. Because if you're making 1.5k, it's going to give you 3k, but you spent 2k on the boost. So you make 1k profit. You would have made 1.5k profit if you didn't buy the boost. So until you're relatively experienced, just skip on the boost. Or because you're not going to benefit from it that much, and you're putting pressure on yourself. If you like just chilling and talking to people, just don't worry about the boost. Focus more on leveling classes. If you can level a class, Clash of Friends, and you're somewhat new, that's probably your best bet of when you'd pop boosts. So let's say you have a level 0 class. And as a side note, you want to buy every class and at least take advantage of the gems you get from it. And it's fun to try everyone out. Try every class out. But that's basically it for the free-to-play guide. There's not a lot of options as far as that goes. I wouldn't open packs. I wouldn't grade. I wouldn't enchant. You never enchant for profit. Bosses aren't relevant. You pretty much just have to take the unstable guide, or the unstable version, which is buying things super low and flipping them for market and above. Or you invest and buy a bunch of things and stockpile them. But if you get to the point where your inventory is getting full, start trying to trade your Wrath Blades or Rainbow Chaoses in for items of equal value that are more. So let's say you have Wrath Blade. Here, I'll give you an example. So it's 420k for a Wrath Blade. If you could trade in 2 Wrath Blades and a little bit of gems for a Winter, or let's say 2 Wrath Blades for a dual wield Nutcracker, and then you use gems to make it even, those would all be good trades as far as trying to condense your wrap. But that's to the point where you have 50 or 50 good mythics, which at that point you're pretty set, like you know what you're doing. But then you've got to condense wrap, which I'll make a video dedicated to that, but if you're at the point where you have 50 good items in your inventory, you're doing pretty well. It's basically just sell them off and you buy something a little bit bigger that holds a good chunk of your value. So one idea for condensing wrap would be you'd sell off, let's say, 2 wrath blades, and then you start looking for a gem blade that's cheap. So you'd buy it at maybe even 1 mil and you'd flip for 1.3, 1.4. Because this is now a big mythic on your stand that's relatively hard to find. And you're pretty much guaranteed to be able to sell it eventually at 1.3. So, and there's a good chance you can find it cheaper. So, that's the basic free to play guide. There's a lot less options if